Welcome to Cosmic Diaries. This is Priya Kale, your astrologer, and a very happy solstice to you. So here we are at the end of the year, and it's been a while since I recorded an audio. I've been busy with clients, and I've also been busy planning the first ever astrology, Cosmic Diaries astrology retreat. So you may have heard about that from me, and if not, then I'll have a lot more information about that for you very soon, but it will be in Greece in 2025. And you can sign up at cosmicdiaries.com for my free newsletter so I can keep you updated as I have more details, which should be very soon in the new year, hopefully. And we're entering quite a big year when a lot is shifting in the skies. So I do plan to be making these audios weekly in the coming year, as well as more videos. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified, and I appreciate your support. And if you're interested in a personal reading, astrology consultation, now would be a great time to check in with your chart and look at all the opportunities that 2025 holds for you. And of course, I would love to work with you. So I'll leave all those details down below. But with that, let's just dive into the week, because it's a big week. We're under the solstice energy. We're moving to the Capricorn new moon, the first new moon in Capricorn since Pluto's left the sign since 2008, as well as we're heading to the second Jupiter-Saturn square, which is a pivotal moment in our lives, and that takes place on the 24th of December. So let's just and of course there are other aspects taking place, but let's just get into it. So we're looking at the astrology now from December 22nd all the way to the end of the year, December 30th, when we have the Capricorn new moon. And of course, I am recording this on the 21st, which is the solstice. So really from the 21st, and I'll look at what's going on until the end of the year. So let's begin. As I record this, the sun is now newly in Capricorn, and we are at the solstice. And the solstice, as the name suggests, is a time when the sun appears to be standing still in the sky. So the sun being the brightest light in the sky, it's like a spotlight is shining on an area of our life, especially wherever we have Capricorn in our chart. And this is a time for reflection, for introspection. So it's a good time to really look at your life and take stock, past, present, future. This is generally the natural mood as Capricorn season sets in every year around the solstice. So it would help to move through this process consciously. What's significant about this particular solstice and Capricorn season, because now the sun will be moving through Capricorn until the 19th of January, is that this is the first Capricorn season since Pluto has left the sign. And Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008 until November this year. Pluto is now finally settling into Aquarius. So this has been a long transit over the past 16 years, and Pluto's process is absolutely alchemical and represents a process of metamorphosis. Capricorn is the third earth sign. It's a cardinal sign, and it deals with matters of worldly success and material success on a personal level. It represents the peak of human consciousness on the subtlest level. It also speaks of matters of government and big business and corporations and the structures that uphold our society and our life. It speaks of authority figures, parental figures, as well as our goals and our ambitions and our sense of authority in our own life, as well as qualities of discipline and hard work and dedication that we need to be able to achieve our goals. And success, although Capricorn is a sign that represents material success, it's a reminder that success is the fruit of our labor, not the goal. And success can mean different things to different people. So Capricorn is the sign that's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn speaks of our integrity and of time and of gateways and thresholds. This is a humbling moment, as well as a time to grow up. It would help over this week as the moon wanes to really dig deep for your integrity and take time to clarify your goals, and to also take stock of your responsibilities, the ones that you're leaving behind, as well as patterns that you've outgrown, ambitions you've outgrown, and what you're leaving behind as you enter this new chapter. Because essentially we are now taking stock of life in the wake of Pluto's transit, and Pluto represents that process of alchemy. So we've had to decondition ourselves from societal and parental conditioning over the past 16 years. And now what's left behind is golden. Or rather, we're sifting through the rubble to find what's golden and what needs to be now swept away. So we can build on solid foundations and invest in what's valuable and preserve what's precious in a situation while letting go of what's just dead wood now and weighing us down. So learn your lessons, but release the past consciously as you move through this week. We are moving from the Gemini full moon to the Capricorn new moon. So this is a dual process, of sifting through the past as we look to the future, looking at what we're letting go and what we want to keep. So move through this process as consciously as possible. And definitely look at what was unfolding for you in 2008 and your journey over the past 16 years. As you realign with who you are today and how you've grown, then you can step into this next chapter, into the fullness of all you've become. Because there's another major aspect unfolding this week on the 24th when Jupiter squares Saturn. But before that, right now, we are in the holiday season, and on the 21st and the 22nd, the moon is moving through Virgo, and the moon will enter Libra on the 22nd at 2:08 p.m. in the afternoon here in New York, and reaches first quarter on the 22nd. Last quarter on the 22nd, which means now we're exactly halfway between the Gemini full moon and the Capricorn new moon coming up on the 30th of December. The last quarter moon is always a time to really check in with yourself. With the moon in Libra at this last quarter phase, we have important choices to make, and the sun is in Capricorn, which means that there's a need for maturity, for responsibility, to look at your letting go and what you're keeping with you. With the moon in Libra, our relationships are certainly highlighted at this time, the energy, and we are in the holiday season. So a little kindness will go a long way, and it is the time for peace and joy. So try to find that within your own heart. It'll be easier to experience that in your connections with others. But overall, the mood seems social. There are deep changes afoot on the 22nd. You needn't people please. In fact, it's really important that you're being absolutely honest with yourself so you can communicate honestly with others. Because Mercury is also now in its direct final shadow phase. And we're recovering, or rather Mercury is recovering the territory that it's been in between the 8th of November to the 25th of November for the third and final time. We're still in the process of learning important information and making important discoveries at this time. And our relationships are evolving. Some bonds are deepening, and there may be relationships that we're outgrowing. Whatever is unfolding, the more honest you can be with yourself rather than trying to please others. You can trust that you can make choices that really work for you and for everyone that you care about. So the 22nd, we're reaching a turning point. And on the 23rd, the moon continues to move through Libra. It will trine Jupiter and trine Venus, and it sextiles Mercury early in the morning. So there's that sense of really finding a sense of ease in our connections and being able to, at best, communicate honestly with others. And the festive spirit is certainly in the air. So be kind and be grateful. Practice gratitude for all your blessings. And whatever you need, trust that you're not alone in this. And there are huge opportunities arising now that could really expand our worlds and our relationships and our hearts. But it calls for us being open-hearted and courageous enough to reach for what we want while remaining detached from expectations. So the 22nd and 23rd, it shouldn't be hard to really get into the festive spirit. But there's a major aspect that's building and coming up on the 24th of December, which is Jupiter's square to Saturn. This is the second Saturn-Jupiter square that we're having this year. The first square took place on the 19th of August. And a square between these two planets is not common. In astrology, anything that's rare has a greater impact. Jupiter and Saturn are the two teachers. There's a need now for us to really find inner faith and inner resilience with whatever life is presenting to us. Taking a huge step forward towards our dreams or materializing a vision for our life. This is the second step, major step in a larger storyline. And we saw the first major turning point on the 19th of August. So you definitely would want to look back at what was unfolding in your life at the time, because now we're taking this next step forward. And really, there's no turning back from here. That's something to be happy about, not worried. Have faith in yourself and in the universe that whatever you've dreamed for yourself, the universe has dreamed bigger and better, and your entire life has led up to this point. Trust that you have the knowledge and the experience to deal with whatever lies ahead. It's just about rising to the occasion of our life, where is always an inner resolution, and any discomfort that you're feeling right now, these are growing pains. So trust the process. It's important to note that the moon is void all day on the 24th in Libra. So it's actually a really quiet and peaceful day when nothing much is happening. So it'll be a really nice Christmas Eve when we can find that inner peace and find that inner sense of balance and harmony within, and just really get on the same page with ourselves. Then on the 25th, on Christmas Day, actually just after midnight, at about 3 in the morning, the moon enters Scorpio. And last time the moon was in Scorpio was a month ago on Thanksgiving Day. So you might want to look back at what was going on at the time, because this is the next time that the moon is in Scorpio. And immediately it squares Pluto and then Mars, and will then sextile the sun later that evening. So the 25th starts off on an intense note in the morning. Things could get busy. But then as the day unfolds, things start to settle down, and there are deep changes afoot. Scorpio is the sign of change, and with the moon in Scorpio on this day, emotionally as well, we're moving through a deep transformation. Relationships are deepening and evolving and changing and moving to a new level. But we are in the waning cycle of the moon, so this is also a time to release any heavier emotional baggage, go of the past, so you can clear space for the future that you're now envisioning and building and strengthening foundations for. And especially when it comes to our relationships, this is really a chance to deepen intimacy and deepen bonds that truly stand the test of time and beyond. But if anything seems to be ending, or any relationship seems to be ending, this is Scorpio. Things are just changing shape and form so we can have healthier connections. So avoid trying to control any situation or anyone or anything, or even your desires for that matter, and yourself, your own emotions for that matter. You don't have to act on everything you feel, but acknowledge what you're feeling, and let go of any painful resentments or heavier emotions that prevent you from making progress towards your goals or deepening intimacy in your connections. And of course, on that note, these changes are happening within you as well, and of course around you. But it's a good time to really realign with your goals today and acknowledge the ones that you've outgrown, and to let go of what you've outgrown so you can enter this new chapter and devote your time and energy to what really matters. So you move through this process consciously on the 25th, and you can trust whatever comes out on the other side of this will be richer and stronger for it. So the 25th, there's a deep transformation underway within you and around you. On the 26th, the moon continues to move through Scorpio and will trine Saturn in the morning, so things feel like they're stabilizing. But also on the 26th, Mercury is opposite Jupiter, which means that there's a sense of having to face and make huge choices. This is the third Mercury-Jupiter opposition, and Mercury will square Saturn on the 27th. So basically there's this T-square aspect that's going on in the sky with the Jupiter-Saturn square, and the sun's already moved through this T-square. Venus has moved through this square, T-square, and now Mercury is moving through it for the third time. So there's a sense of us just finally being ready to make certain choices in an ongoing story that's been playing out. So with Mercury moves at Jupiter and then square Saturn on the 26th and 27th, we're reaching an important turning point, and we're making important decisions and choices. We're coming to important realizations, reaching a deeper understanding. But it also may mean having those difficult conversations so you can work to find a better way forward that works for everybody involved. Be clear on your bottom line, then it'll be easier to negotiate and make choices, wiser choices, moving ahead, given everything that you've learned. Keep a sense of perspective on what's unfolding. We are very much in the process of reshaping our lives and moving closer to manifesting a dream. And our choices are very much creating our reality and our future, keeping sight of the bigger picture, and then trusting that the details and more information will come through as you journey forward. You can't know everything, and no one can know everything. And you can't know what you couldn't have known 3 weeks ago what you know now. So it's about having faith in this process and leaving space for growth and for learning. Then you can trust that you'll learn what you need to know moving forward, even if you don't have all the answers right now. And with Mercury and Jupiter in mutual reception now, it's important to note that, because there's almost a sense that the conversations that you're having and the relationships and connections you're involved with, it's like each person has something the other needs. So there's a need for that teamwork and being able to have constructive conversations, look for constructive solutions so everybody can make progress. On the 27th, the moon continues to move through Scorpio. We are reaching breakthroughs and we are reaching deep insights as well. And there is a powerful release on the way. So just let go of heavier emotions as consciously as you can and lighten your load as you move to this new moon. Then once the moon enters Sagittarius on the 27th at 2:47 in New York, the mood lightens, and we are still in the waning phase of the moon, but there's still a sense of, at best, optimism. So stay focused on the bigger picture, be philosophical, be kind, be generous, be open-minded as you move through the 27th and certainly the 28th and 29th. The moon continues to move through Sagittarius. So make time to reflect on how far you've come, where you're at, where you're going, who you're going with, and most importantly, start to clarify your vision for the future and your goals. You may not have all the answers yet, but we are reaching breakthroughs, and the Capricorn new moon is a new cycle. So this is a chance to clarify our goals and then to have faith that we will be shown the way. And on the 28th, we have a major aspect taking place when Venus will square Uranus. And this is a breakthrough at best. Squares again call for an inner resolution. We're being drawn out of our comfort zone, and there's a need to be creative, to be open-hearted, to let go of attachments to outcomes, and to dare to follow our heart. Then trust that we will be rewarded every step of the way, not just in terms of some future gratification. And when it comes to relationships especially, there's relationships, financial situations, creative matters. The square is shaking things up, but even if things seem to come out of left field, there's an opportunity here for you. So the more, again, creative you can be and open-hearted you can be, you can find a way forward and find the gift that waits here for you. And so in relationships, there's a need for acceptance, which begins with self-acceptance. And the fewer expectations we can have of others, the more we can appreciate people for who they are, rather than expecting them to be something that we want them to be, and vice versa. The more we can move into self-acceptance, we can draw in the connections that see and value us for who we are, including all our quirks. And if anything seems to be falling apart right now, again, try to avoid clinging. Be patient as the dust settles. We're moving to a new cycle and renewal is on the way. And this is just a test of the strength of our connections as well as what's real and what's truly valuable in our lives. And we're undeniably being drawn into the future, which means we're going to have to leave the past behind. And that may just mean finding new ways of relating with the world around us, in our relationships, in our work, in our projects, with money. We're breaking free of our old patterns so we can, in a sense, live life by our own rules. But that also means that we need to dig deep for our integrity. So it's all tied in. And there's certainly a shake-up happening, but again, the more detached we could be pleasantly surprised here. Because there are surprises around the corner. This sense of us having to step out of our comfort zone now into a whole new territory, which means that we're going to have to let go of old ways of being so we can embrace the future with open arms, and to let go of old baggage so we can embrace all the opportunities that are coming our way. Then on the 29th, the moon enters Capricorn at 11:38 p.m. here in New York, and the moon will continue to move through Capricorn through the 30th, and we have the new moon at 5:27 p.m. And then on the 31st, the moon continues to move through Capricorn and will enter Aquarius on the 1st of January. So the 30th and 31st, as we get to the 30th, of course, moving to the new moon, we're still in the waning phase of the moon, deep waning phase. This is an extremely fertile time, and given that it kind of lines up with the new year, this year the planets are echoing this new beginning that we're all gearing up towards with the new year. So the resolutions we make now do have a greater chance of sticking, but at the same time, leave room for growth. With the new moon in Capricorn, it's time to really solidify your goals, to clarify your goals, your ambitions, and to dig deep for your integrity. Because this is not just about success. All the success in the world would mean nothing if it didn't mean something to you. So it's not a matter of whether you can climb a mountain or achieve something. It's a matter of what you want to achieve and which mountain you want to climb. Because no matter what you choose, it will require hard work and dedication and devotion. So it's important that we choose from the heart and choose something that aligns with our soul's calling, especially with current aspects. And that's this whole Venus Uranus square, which is we're being invited to dare to follow our hearts and our passion and to realign with our innermost selves so we can manifest a life that reflects that inner reality. So, with the new moon in Capricorn, there's a need for maturity, for growth, for responsibility, and to take responsibility for our lives, past, present, and future. No matter what the past has been like, for better or for worse, it's gone. And what happens in the future depends on our actions today and how we invest our energy today. So the more we can stop blaming ourselves or others for the past, but just learn our lessons, because that's what this life really is about. It's a process of growth and self-realization. Which brings me to my main point about the 29th, because on the 29th, another major astrological factor is that Chiron stations direct in Aries. And Chiron was commonly known as the wounded healer. And this energy is deeply healing, but we're also becoming deeply aware of where we feel wounded, or rather, there's a need for awareness so we can release past wounds consciously, especially any childhood wounds surrounding abandonment, trust issues, any past pain, trauma. In acknowledging it, we can become aware of it so it doesn't need to overshadow our future. Chiron is in Aries, which is the sign of the infant, and it's the baby of the zodiac, whereas Capricorn is the sign maturity and responsibility and old age even. So while Aries speaks of the beginning of life, Capricorn speaks of old age and late life. And there is that sense of, and we're also moving from the Gemini full moon to now the Capricorn new moon on the 30th, and we're in this deep waning phase. So there's very much this duality in play, or rather, where it's time to become aware of how our childhood has shaped us, and it's time to grow up so we don't continue to replay self-destructive patterns that cause us to self-sabotage. The world is not what it was. We are not who we were. We're certainly not children anymore. That doesn't mean we need to lose our sense of innocence and wonder about the world. In fact, the energy is quite magical right now. And we're entering the new year with major aspects unfolding where there's magic in the air. So this, on the 29th, as Chiron stations direct, the energy is deeply, profoundly healing, and there's a chance to heal old wounds from the source so we can step into the future with greater awareness, self-awareness, and build our lives more consciously. Because on the 30th, as the Capricorn new moon aligns, we're entering this new cycle. The seeds that you plant with your hard work, commitment, dedication, devotion have every chance of materializing. And consider this again, this is the first new moon in Capricorn since Pluto has left the sign. So, this is a chance to put into practice everything that we've learned over the past 16 years. Significantly, this Capricorn new moon makes a sextile to Saturn, seeding the energy over the next 2 weeks. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn and is currently in Pisces. And we've recently had this Jupiter Saturn square. So we're entering a whole new world and a whole new chapter. And a dream, a life's dream and goal is very much within reach. And we're in the process of shaping our dreams and our life. In fact, there could be a moment of even feeling like we're living the dream. The 31st, the energy as the moon continues to move through Capricorn, it's the end of the year, so everybody's in the mood to celebrate, and it's certainly an indulgent day. But it could also be a very productive day, depending on what you have going on. And we could make some real progress with our goals. And certainly, the seeds we plant now will come to fullness over time, but we'll see the culmination of this cycle with the Cancer full moon on the 13th of January. But as you enter this new cycle, there's a need for maturity, to be clear on our goals, our bottom line, our integrity, and trust that the support that you need now is very much close at hand. And in a sense, we're limited only by our imagination. So don't underestimate your ability to take steps now towards life's dream or life's goal. Because there are new doors that are swinging open now, inviting us to step through and step up as we enter this new year, a new chapter, a new cycle, a new world. Make time for reflection as you look forward to what you're planting and seeding for the coming year. Because January 1st, the moon enters Aquarius, will immediately conjunct Pluto and changes in the air. And Venus is going to change signs next week on the 2nd, enter Pisces, as well as Mars opposes Pluto on the 3rd. So January begins with a bang and things are heating up right off the bat. So I'll have a lot more to say about that next week. But this was a quick rundown of the aspects this week, and I will be back with you again next week. I do plan to get back to doing the weeklies regularly again in the new year, as well as bringing you more videos. So do subscribe to the channel, that way you'll be notified, and I appreciate your support. It will help me get the word out. So thank you for listening, and I wish you all a very happy holiday season and a very happy new year. This is Priya signing off. Namaste.